I kind of wanted to update you all a little bit about my book because I am like deep diving back into that process. I took a little break in April, got back into it in May, was able to get a little bit of a chunk done. So yeah, I'll start with like where I'm at with it now. It's currently at 74,000 words. I think it might get to 100K, but I am kind of finalizing the ending. But to do the ending, I kind of needed to go back and edit a lot, or like, yeah, just edit a lot of the beginning just to make the ending make a little bit more sense because I was just getting too far with the changes that I really wanted to make. And so I'm kind of going through and fixing that a little bit. And as I am editing, I am also putting it into a shared doc with some friends that are really interested in kind of helping me with the story. It's sort of like the first round of beta reading, but it's like bare bones beta reading. So it needed to be people that I knew would be very kind to see me in my messy zero first draft kind of a vibe, just to get sort of a picture of the vibe of the story, sort of help me with that, or give any feedback of how the characters are coming through, how everything's happening on the page for them. There is an element of like, I am not a creative writing major. I've never went to school for writing. I'm not like, I don't know if I'm a good writer. I know I have a good story and I can become a better writer, really making the story what I know that it can be. And it's okay if it takes a long time. A hummingbird just came, is on the little feeder. We moved the feeder over to where this little area where we sit, and so they're really used to us now, and it's just so cute to see. They're so tiny. Anyway, I feel like, yeah, I'm in this process of becoming a more analytical reader, becoming a better writer, finishing this draft one, and then getting a little bit of feedback from some of my friends and making it better. Like going for draft two. And there was a moment there where I was like, I have to get this finished by the fall and like be ready to query. And I don't know, maybe that could still happen. That seems a little crazy, but I also have a lot of time, and it's the summer. I don't know, like sometimes I stop writing in the summer, but this summer it feels like it's coming online a bit more. I am on chapter 11, I believe, like getting it to the doc for my friends. I am coming up on some blocks, like to do a chapter a day or 2 chapters a day. I am coming up on some blocks because there are points that I am wanting to change and shift, so there's a bit of rewriting to be done as I'm going through it. Just verbally processing that has been really good for me with my partner and some friends and stuff. And eventually I want to do a reverse outline, which you might think would be smart to do as I'm going through the chapters, but it kind of just feels too overwhelming to add that into going over the chapters. But I'll probably do it after I get it all finished, which I learned that a reverse outline is basically where you outline everything you already have written, so then you can kind of play with it from a bird's eye view instead of like just not knowing. I've never outlined this book, so I think that would be really helpful for me going into draft two. So we're going to work on that. So it has been just a few days later, and I've made a little bit of progress, but the plans have already changed again. As I was editing through, they were all very light edits that I could go through the chapter, fix a few things, send it to the doc with my friends. And then a few pretty major canon events that I kind of thought that I had changed, but they only changed in my mind. I realized were not changed, and that was becoming heavier and heavier editing block felt more like draft 2 editing and not, you know, just trying to send it to beta readers. And it was just all kind of falling apart in terms of like, okay, do I want to spend all this time doing this, or do I just want to finish this first draft or draft 0, whichever, this first draft of this, and then I can like start over from a clean slate. Because another reason I kind of want to do it this way is I'm actually a lot closer to the ending than I initially anticipated. I think I was like choke holding myself to the 100K words. And honestly, the ending is actually way closer to where I am at now. I do anticipate maybe 5 to 10,000 more words. I think I can come to the conclusion that I have in my mind a little bit sooner, especially for draft 1. And whenever I'm done with draft 1, I really want to gift myself with Scrivener. I really want that organization. I think the changes that I now have realized that I needed to make would be a lot easier to make with draft 2 and the organization of outlining that I feel like Scrivener can give me that I've just never really experienced. I've only ever done docs, and yeah, it's a scattered mess for something that I actually want to be a cohesive piece of myself out in the world. The more and more I'm diving into this, the longer I'm realizing that it's all going to take for it to be the way that I want it to. And like I was saying earlier, for me to get to the spot of writing skill that I want to be at, I think I'm just going to go for the ending, which means that I am going to just need to read probably the last 4 or 5 chapters of where I was at, and then get to writing and get to the ending, and then gift myself with Scrivener and start draft 2. And I think in between draft 2, I'm actually going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. I'm going to sort of go back and do the reverse outline. I'm going to flesh out a lot more of the worlds and the different planets that they're at, and things about those planets that might not even be specifically useful for my book entirely, but will be just useful for me to know as a thing, because this book has all been vibes. I just want a little period of time where I'm taking a break from the book, from draft 1 to draft 2, but I'm spending that time sort of diving into little parts of the world that will set me up for success when I go to outline, because I'll just have so much juice to work with, and maybe some new elements that I didn't realize before because the world's fleshed out better and I'm not just going on vibes. But it's fine. This is how I have processed, and it's happening. So I am going to go ahead and read some of the last chapters and get to writing, and honestly, taking myself out of the whole it has to be 100K makes me feel so good, because truly the story is so close to where I feel like it's going to end, which it could change in draft 2 and like all that stuff. But I'm really excited, and I just finally feel like I'm stepping into who I really want to be as a writer. That element of this process also feels really good. Okay, it has been probably about 2 or 3 days since I last updated you. It's basically like the first week of June. For me, I finally mentally finalized the ending, because I had a pretty good chunk, but the very, very end was still a little like, what are we gonna do? And now I know exactly where we're headed. Which for some reason is giving me so much more motivation to actually write where I'm at, ironically. Like, I feel like whenever I outline before, which I don't a lot or very far ahead or anything, I feel like it can make me want to just get to the juice, get to where I really want to go, get to the really cool next planet, etc., etc. Get to the scenes that are just repeating in my head all the time. And it can make me want to skip over the little details, which is fine for a draft one, but that's just sort of what my mind tends to. And now, for some reason, that I feel like the ending's locked in, it's almost like I feel like I'm taking my time a little bit more and really digging into all of the little details. And they're really exciting for me. And so I'm just surprised at this sort of mental switch going towards the ending. And I am just flying through. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm feeling really good about what's in my head that is going to end this book. And then there's just other things that are really inspiring me and really making me want to sit and write all day. So that's basically where I've been at and what I've been working on. And I think I really want to, I think I'm just going to call this Project Space. I'm getting more and more excited to finish and get Scrivener and organize everything. Like, I don't know, I'm craving that organization so deeply, which now that I am seeing this side of myself where I've outlined a little bit more and I know where I'm going, and the outline is almost allowing me to get into the details, it makes me really excited to organize the rest of the book, because I feel like then whenever I go to write, I'm hoping that this is how I feel, that I feel like I can just really dip into the juice of it and the time of it and the romanticization of it almost. That's where I'm at. That's what we've been doing today. So, and I will leave you guys here for this video. I know it was a little bit chaotic, but I feel like after taking that break in April, getting my bearings together, getting the ending in my head, really wanting people to read it, like, I just needed this verbal processing to finally land where I wanted to land in the direction I want to go for the summer and sort of what I want to focus on really hardcore for the summer in terms of going all in on my writing dreams. So if you want to keep up with Project Space, please subscribe down below and follow along. I do have a playlist of the process of writing my book, so you can check that out. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!